I'm happy to be joined in the studio by Ian Vambe, who is the founder and director of Mkundi Foundation. And Ian is also a radio presenter at the national broadcaster and has a disability. I know Ian is not new to a radio studio, right? You're not new, probably maybe the setup, but it's pretty much the same.
Feels weird to be on the other side of things, actually.
But anyway, we are honored to have you on this program.
Thank you so much.
And to you, our valued listener, we do value your contributions. So please do send in your comments, your contributions via our WhatsApp platform on 0775 897 897. 0775 897 897. So to kickstart the program, Ian, you founded Mkundi Foundation. What is it that motivated you to say, okay, we have so many disability rights organizations, what is it that you felt, or the gap that you saw, that prompted you to say, okay, I just want to come in and try and do my bit in terms of championing the rights of persons with disabilities? And what is it that you do as Mkundi Foundation?
All right, thank you so much for that. I would say the major reason why I just found Mkundi Foundation is because of my life, how I grew up. I consider myself as someone who is victorious. Looking at the journey that I walked, the things that I've been through, and how I eventually became the person that I am today. And I think that I have been, overcoming some small and big challenges along the way. And I felt that probably this organization could also be meant to create victors, hence the name Mkundi Foundation. We consider ourselves as victors, and we hope that we can create also other people who can say the other day, Tiriva Kundi. We have managed to overcome these challenges faced by people with disabilities. That's why we had to come up with that name. Now, to your question, to say what exactly do we do at Mkundi, we have got three main pillars that we focus on. The first one is advocacy, where we advocate for the rights of people with disabilities. I'm sure we're going to expand that as the program goes on. Then we've got the pillar of capacity building, because we believe that we need to focus on the person with the disability himself or herself, as well as the parents of our people with disabilities. They need to be capacitated enough to understand what needs to be done for their children to realize their full potential. So when we talk about capacity building, we are targeting the individual with a disability, because you realize there is so much that we can do. We can cry for inclusive buildings, we can cry for inclusive schools and all that. But as long as the person with a disability himself doesn't understand that they can achieve something in life, they are not second-class citizens, they are equally human beings, it becomes difficult. Those inclusive buildings becomes useless. But if you can try and create a powerful mindset, we might actually succeed without inclusive buildings. Not to say we don't need them, but I think we're trying to create a resilient mindset within the conditions that we have. Then our third pillar is awareness raising. We do various programs to raise awareness, just to say, when it comes to language, sometimes terminology, just, basic etiquettes when it comes to disability. That's what we focus. So those are the three main pillars. So our programming from Mkundi mainly emanates from those three main pillars.
Okay. That's powerful, because mostly when we talk of a change of mindset, we always want to push it to society. Kuti vanhu pamuri kutitarisa isusu, you must have this view, this positive view. But I like the angle that you're bringing out. Kuti iwewe pachako as an individual, you also have to think positively.
Exactly.
Okay, there's a lot to talk about, but I think let's park it tidzoke after those few messages.
Are you feeling happy?
Say it with Pepsi.
Are you excited?
Say it with Pepsi.
I see you celebrating.
Say it with Pepsi.
Do you want to party?
Say it with Pepsi.
Express your feelings with the all-new Pepsi Moji packaging in 500 mils, 1 liter, and 2 liter, and say it with Pepsi today.
Welcome if you're just joining us. This is Star FM sounding good all the time, and it is the disability factor. And tonight I'm discussing, or rather I'm talking to Ian Takudzwa Vambe, who is the founder and director of Mkundi Foundation. And Ian is also a radio presenter with the national broadcaster. And we are discussing the role of the media in championing the rights of persons with disabilities. And so, also tell us about your disability. We know you have a disability, but tell us about it and the challenges that you have faced, maybe growing up and trying to fit in the society. Inema views are negative towards persons with disabilities.
Okay, my disability is called clubfoot. That's the disabilities. That's common. Some people might not know it, but it's a condition that has got like normally people would say ma get straight. Then clubfoot, it means I get so. So it means that you need to have special shoes that you wear to really be comfortable. So that's my disability. It was not. It did not come to me. I was actually born like that. It was not caused by anything. I've been trying to look for the causes, but mostly it just says it's unknown. And to come to your question, to say challenges that I faced growing up is that it was the society really that made me feel that I am different. Firstly, as a child, as you walk around, you realize you are disabled when people start looking back at you and start asking questions. That was the time that I really felt that maybe something is different about me. So as you grow up, it becomes difficult for you to get used to people as you walk to look back at you. That still happens to me even right now, but I'm used. Like, you get to a point where you understand why they're doing that. So the challenge that becomes is now when you go into a society, to a community that doesn't understand the disability, you take time just to fit in. Be it at school, you need to be someone who is able to talk, and because there's a tendency of people feeling very, becoming sympathetic towards you. And all that. And it was really bad because my family treated me just like anyone else. I would feel that I have a disability when I go out, because my mother, if I do something mischievous, she'd beat me. I was given all the tasks the next person was given. I grew up in the rural areas. Down there kwa Shimba. Whatever that is supposed to be done. So, but at school now, it's a large community, and people really didn't get to understand it, to say, this guy, I know to say, I love soccer so much. I loved to play soccer.
Okay.
But then
because they felt you were not able to do.
And also quads, and I really feel like I want to be part of this. So it was something that would get you questions to say, but why? What am I supposed to do? But then I would push and push and push. Even really, class during break time, lunchtime, I would play with my friends. So the big advantage that I had was because of my family. How they looked at me, how they treated me just like anyone else. So the challenge is now becomes how the society looks at you, how they give you a certain position. I remember at some point I was put in, when I was in grade 3 or grade 4, they introduced special class. And the concept was that everyone with a disability must just go to special class without necessarily looking, do they need, what exactly is this particular class trying to achieve. So when I was put in that class, I remember I was like, why am I here? And my teacher had to come and say, why are you putting him there? So those are some of the things that if you do not have a powerful support system at home, they can affect your mindset. You can actually say, I don't want to go to school anymore because of how the school is like. So they, looking at how there is lack of proper implementation of these strategies when they do come, it can affect someone's confidence. So these are the challenges that I would see. But fortunately, like I said, I had a very good family, supportive, encouraging me time and again, and also giving me chances and opportunities to do all that I wanted to do.
Okay. And then coming back to our discussion tonight, which is the role of the media in championing the rights of persons with disabilities. We know that the media is an important tool in actually raising awareness and also combating stigma and the misinformation, as well as changing societal misconceptions about disabilities. How best can the media present disability issues in a way maybe that dispels negative stereotypes and also promote the rights of persons with disabilities?
That's a very key question that I would try to respond to in so many ways, because there are so many things that the media can do, because the media is that powerful, because it shapes the narrative, it nearly changes how people look at things. So what I think should be done, number one, is that it all starts from the training of the media practitioners, which are the journalists themselves, during, be it university, be it tertiary, be it poly, or anyway, where they get to have maybe a module or a course where you can understand disability issues. Start by simple things like terms, correct terminology. What do you say when you want to refer to a person with a disability? You realize so many times the issues to say person living with a disability, chirema, bofu, this and that. There's always noise in the media when it comes to the rightful terms. And I believe this can only be addressed if the journalists that are being produced from these tertiary institutions are well equipped enough just for them to be in a position where they understand to say, you don't say it's chirema, you're relegating someone maybe to an object. What are the correct terms to use? You don't say person living with a disability, you say person with a disability. So there has to be a policy within the journalistic training institutions to say, now we are accommodating, we are making this compulsory for people to learn, including sign language. Media is key when it comes to sign language. You realize that some of these journalists will come out, and when there's a story, they want to try and understand, let's say it's you, Siphathisiwe, and you are someone with hearing impairments. They would need a sign language interpreter to come and tell us your story. But in a very equal world where we should be just coming to you, toto sign language, so I believe policy should start at these institutions. Then we come to various media houses, looking at content structure to say, our content, what are we doing? We are very key when you say, we want to have marketable content on radio, on TV, or wherever. What exactly are we looking at? Even newspaper articles. For this story to qualify on front page, it must be something that sells. It must be something that does this and this and this and this. But we should be able to sit down as media houses to say, do we have a disability policy? We talk of gender policy now. Media houses. We talk of whatever policies that we have, various policies. Now, when we talk of disability policy, we're looking. Let's say it's for television. Just make it a policy that no program goes on TV without sign language. You're becoming disability inclusive, right? On our programming, on our sport log, how many disability programs do we have? What mantra are they pushing? So we are now shaping the scope of your discussions on radio, on TV, even the articles that you write, because sometimes you hear they magnify the disability, and so that people can maybe read an article or listen to a program to say, it's an angle that is not necessarily trying to put something like that. So I believe there has to be an agenda from each media house to say, Isusu, we want to try and push for the rights of people with disabilities to be recognized. Maybe we look at language. Language Jakati. Maybe Isusu, we are looking at even programming edu. We are going to have more disability programs. We are going to have even employment of people with disabilities themselves.